watched that show Heroes and seen that character Sylar, it's really strange, but I think that a lot of black people could relate to the character Sylar. Not the killing sprees, and not that people haven't wanted to hurt people, but the rage. And it's different from the anger that most of the characters have with their mommy issues and their daddy issues. But this is a specific kind of, I mean, I've been thinking about it because he has daddy issues, but his abandonment issues are, I mean, his daddy sold him and abandoned him and killed his mother. But, you know, so many of the kids were kind of abandoned by their parents emotionally. Oh, it's just stinging in my eyes. Let's put some stuff on my eyes. But so many of the kids in Heroes are literally abandoned. You know, and as a matter of fact, so few have their parents stick by them or even come back to them. I mean, certainly through most of the first 3 seasons, this is very much the issue. But this character, Sylar, this is very interesting that he has this real just rage that can just lash out. And you see it in that super healing Invincible Girl character, Claire, and somewhat in, what's his name? Mahinder, the Indian doctor turned cab driver in Heroes. But this rage, and so I want to talk a little bit about black men and rage because it's something that I think about a lot. I'm a black man, if you are intelligent enough to have been able to see by now. And yeah, I'm a black man who experiences a lot of rage, but I recognize that I'm not alone in this world. I see it all around me. I mean, I would go so far as to say that I even see it in our pop culture. I mean, it's even just the sexual acting out, the violence, it's that extremeness, you know. But I also see in black men this extreme potential for kindness. So, you know, I'm fortunate to be related to. I have just many uncles who are can be very gentle with people, very jovial with people, just have a lot of happiness around them. But looking at them not as uncles, but as fellow black men, as we also are, and thinking about other black men in America that I know, there is a rage there. And I don't see it in black women. I see black women able to access rage, and I see some enraged black women, but it seems on a different level, somehow different from this particular kind of rage in black men in America. And I actually see it in that Sylar character in Heroes, and reaching, I think, what's going to be the last of the series of Heroes, Season 3, Volume 4, where Sylar switches from being a mass murderer, you know, from just being an all-out thug and just enraged, to really going, you know, searching for his father, and of course, you know, like my cousin sold, you know, the crack or dope or whatever that killed his father. Sylar plans to, you know, harm this man. And I have to say, there was a time that I wanted to harm my father. There was a time when I had decided to harm my father. And somehow it was through my godfather, who knew bell hooks, who had grown up in Hopkinsville with him. And it was interesting because I gained audience with her. I mean, here I was, this kid in New York City, a freshman in college, over winter term, doing winter term at Alvin Ailey. And I've gotten in touch with like this iconic figure at Oberlin College, Bell Hooks. I mean, she came and she talked about this ethic of love, and we were sitting here on, you know, a liberal college, which basically meant that we had the opportunity to speak openly and candidly about how enraged that black people can be, and I suppose white people too. Usually there's just acting out and not speaking out, but I guess that's part of what being white means. Part of the privilege is not to have the responsibility to speak out. Black people have carried that. that mantle for this nation, speaking out. We continually, I mean, our emancipation meant, women's suffrage. Our civil rights meant feminism, gay rights, and affirmative action. We know primarily white women were the main benefactors of affirmative action. So, see, there's another reason that could spark rage in a black man. But there's something else. It's not just the daily attacks. There's something even about the physical. I mean, some people, I'm thinking about some of my girlfriends in Oberlin. They spoke a lot about men who felt emasculated. And so that's my thing. It's like, well, I had to build my own balls since I was a kid anyway, because I was never a boy or a man the way that we were expected to be. And maybe one can say that being gay is sort of pulls all of that from under you, so you are more prepared to build a different kind of masculinity and not just the one that's kind of fed to you. Maybe I think that I do see that fewer gay black men. How should I say it? Well, maybe it's just this. I mean, maybe I really am onto something, because even Bell Hooks references James Baldwin and talking about dealing with rage. So we have the rage, but to just dialogue around it, but to get back to what I was talking about. So I was a freshman, and something had happened with my father. I hadn't seen him for about 2 years, and I went to stay with him. And over this winter term, and I remember what it was. I was catching this bus back and forth from New York, my dance classes, to where we were staying in Jersey. And I've since come to respect Jersey. There is Thornhill. There are my friends there. There's my father there who's there. My brother who's there. You have a great lifestyle there. But it is Jersey. And so once he was really like, it's like 2 hours late from the bus station, like a Peter Pan bus station. I was like this kid, scared, young, didn't know where to go. And I was thinking about that the other day, because in retrospect, I'm like, can you get over it? Shit, wait at the fucking bus station, blah, blah, blah. But I honestly wanted to call my father over this, and I decided to. I thought it out in my mind. I was like, I'm a young dancer, and he is a 50-year-old black man. I could take him. You know how to be? I'm like, I could take him. And I called my mother, and we were chanting on the phone together. And I called Bell Hooks. I think I'd seen her earlier, because somehow through my godfather, I'd gotten in touch with her and gotten audience with her. She invited me to her apartment, and we actually talked about rape speech. And years later, she wrote a book called Killing Rage. And she told me that she was working on, that she was writing about and asking black men about it, because she also saw this rage in black men. So thank you, Bell Hooks, for getting more brothers to talk about it. And thank you for acknowledging that there are a lot of black gay men like Marlon Riggs, like Essex Hemphill, like James Baldwin, like Josephine, like me, like a lot of you listening to this right now, that are working daily to kill rage. But what is their rage? What is that rage? I mean, what are we? Yes, we are that oppressed. Okay, fine, we're oppressed. So, I guess the next step is, what am I doing to get over the rage? Because sometimes it still gets the best of me. What are you doing to get over that rage? What do you do to erase violence from your life, so that you don't have to physically coerce people, you don't have to intimidate people to do anything, that you never have to lay a hand on a person? That's what I'm talking about. Those are the markers for me to say that rage is being, gotten rid of. So what is that? I'm waiting. I'm listening. Don't wait. I want to hear what you have to say. Killing rage.
She go cook for him.